Do you have ever imagined BoBoiBoy and Mechamato will become this big and influential?
So for us, we don't do things with the intention of it become crazy popular or influential. I think we complete the first season of BoBoiBoy with only around 20 people. We used to do 38 seconds per person. A lot of hard work that I think a lot of people do not want to go through.
Back then when you were developing BoBoiBoy, do you feel that this is too risky? I'm not sure this is going to work.
Again, good thing when you are young. You basically have nothing to lose. Content creators start putting things into YouTube, and then Nizam said that, you know what, let's bring it to another level. Let's convert YouTube into living room watching culture. So that's when we start hosting our episode first on YouTube. It was a really bold move. It was a really crazy move and pissed off a lot of people. Our 35 million subscribers are organic. You want to achieve more, right? But when you have 50 people, you need to do things at a 50 people scale. You have to be really realistic. You don't have $200 million to play with. I think partnership comes in the form of mutual respect. I think that's what a lot of people don't have. You need to put your ego aside. Before COVID, we were 90 people. After coming out from lockdown, we are 140 people. The whole Mechamato movie, almost all of them are remotely made from home.
What's something that still scares you until even now, after you have achieved all this?
There are things that I don't know.
Hey guys, before we jump into today's episode, me and Jim would like to ask you for a quick favor. It turns out that over half of the people who tune into the Entrepreneur Journal haven't subscribed yet.
And if you've been enjoying the conversation that we're having, the raw stories, the strategies, the lesson from creatives, athletes, founders, and dreamers, the best way to spot us is simple. Just hit that subscribe button.
Well, it's free. It just takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps us to keep the show going and growing.
And here's our promise to you. We're going to keep showing up with better guests, deeper stories, and better production quality every single week. Now, thank you for being here. Let's get into the episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back to TEJ Podcast, and today we have our very special guest in the animation industry. We have Yong is the co-founder and managing director of Monsta, the studio behind BoBoiBoy, Mechamato, and Papa Pipi. Beyond the laugh and colourful characters lies the story A Quiet Builder, a man who took a leap from corporate comfort into creative chaos. So today we go beneath the pixel and the profit talks about unseen sacrifices and the leadership battles. So still, we have Yong Pin. Welcome to our podcast, Yong Pin.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to
Thanks
the
for having
podcast.
us.
Yeah. We are going to have a good chat because we are all here from the animation industry, more than a couple of years, definitely.
Yes.
So how is everything? How's the studio and all?
Yeah, so today it's our 16 years this year. I think everything is still doing well, fortunately. Still surviving, still, making good living so far.
But Yong Pin, like before, when the world knew about BoBoiBoy or Monsta, actually, who was Yong Pin? Like, what is your background? Where do you come from? Probably you can, introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, so I come from Penang. I'm a boy from Penang, and how to say? Usually we are quite academic oriented, in our place, right? So, but at the age of maybe 11 years old, that's when Toy Story came out, right? So I watched it at my friend's house when I was a kid, and I was blown away because like animation can took such form, right? That's 3D, right? So then in 1998, if I'm not mistaken, is when Silat Legenda came out.
Okay.
Although the whole movie is 2D, but I think there's a scene which is a 3D submarine, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I straight away think that this is something I really want to do, right? Because it shows that Malaysia also can do it. Right, because our generation spent most of our time growing up with the Japanese anime,
the
Western
Doraemon,
anime.
Yeah.
So like I was keep on thinking why we cannot do our own animation and play a big role with the kids' childhood, right? So that's when I've decided. I think since I was Form 1 or Form 2, I've decided to actually want to venture into this space lah.
Wow, that early, even Form 1 and Form 2 already.
Yeah, and it was quite big objection from the teachers and from the parents, right? Because especially the teacher, I still remember, because we need to fill in this ambition form every year, right? So I always fill in top 3. It's like director, a cartoonist, or comic artist, right? And then teacher will call me to counseling.
were you the type that actually draw on the table and textbook?
I draw on these 3-5 books, you know.
Pukul 35.
Pukul 35. I draw my own Dragon Ball.
Right.
Right. So then every time there's spot check, then I need to simple.
I used to draw on the table, full everything on the table, everything, no more space already. Now I change the table. My textbook and everything is full of
exactly.
Mine is also on the table. Table. Eraser. Something like that, but it's very small.
Yeah, we need to hide it. So very academic oriented.
Even exam. Sometimes I draw an exam paper and then I rub it off.
I miss the old day, man. Then MMU. Coincidentally, when I was Form 5, came at our school and give the talk about the offering this animation course. Then I straight away jump in.
Then in Form 4, Form 5, are you in like the art class or the science
No,
class?
I'm a science stream.
Oh, you're in the science stream.
But very much into computer lah. And despite my parents' objection into it, but because of the good result, right? But they
good results too.
but they are really supportive. They bought the computer for me. They bought back then there's like a popular bookstore. There's a book that is computer, and then there's software CD.
Oh yes.
I think it's Lightwave or something. I don't know what's the software already. And then I was exposed to it lah, as young as like maybe Form 3, Form 4. Right, so that's why I'm pretty lucky lah on that side. So that's why the rest are history lah. So I was the same path throughout my whole life.
I see.
Yeah.
Then all the while, you really determined to be in the animation industry.
Yeah.
But were you already thinking of CG industry, or you were thinking about like cartoons more, like
3D? Actually, is
3D?
very because that's what really blew my mind.
I see.
The Toy Story is just like, for me, it's like, as a little kid, right, you watch VHS at your friend's house is like really crazy for us, mind blowing. Yeah.
Okay. Then so you study in MMU.
Yeah, 4 years there and then graduate. Yeah.
So actually, do you have ever imagined your IPs, BoBoiBoy and Mechamato, will become this big and influential in Southeast Asia?
So, good thing when you started young, right? You are being very naive and ambitious at the same time. So we dreamt about it, like it's always the same motto that we have since day one. We started into this industry whereby we want to produce local content and bring it to the global stage, right? So what we call the globally appeal universal content with local touch, right? So that's the thing that we have been doing. To be honest, we don't know how to, does it work or not? Does it work in the Western region or not? Does it work in the Southeast Asia region or not? Or will it stay only in Malaysia or not? But we only focus on giving our best every single episode that we do, right? So, and through time, good thing, our brands actually born in the age of social media, right? So you can actually know if people like it or people don't like certain things or things like that, right? So for us, we don't do things with the intention of it become crazy popular or influential or things like that, but we just keep on doing the best that we have and just keep on moving forward. Because one thing for sure, we cannot be straight away like Pixar or Disney.
Definitely.
They have 100 years of histories, right? So we have to do our own way, right? So for us, it's always like that.
I see. Yeah. But how you all started up at the beginning, and how do you all come up with like BoBoiBoy, that kind of show, and until then you have Mechamato.
Yeah.
How you all started?
I think maybe we jump back after that you came and become a 3D artist for a few years, right? How was the mindset like when you were working as an artist?
Okay.
Then went on to form Monsta.
Yeah.
How was the whole process like, the journey? Maybe you can talk just a bit.
Yeah. So good thing about, because we didn't straight away jump into starting Monsta. We worked in another company before this, right? So good thing about working in a startup is that you are exposed to every single thing, like end to end of a business, right? So it's not just, although we are hired and applied, work as an artist, but you cannot run away from the day-to-day business operation of the business, right? So for us, that's not a major big jump, because I'm not like I work for 10 years as an artist, then only I start to venture into business, right? Because when you work in a startup, everything you need to know, right? So it's not a very challenging process. But of course, when we start, you have to know how to do multitasking lah, every single thing lah. So it's not just animation production, right? So to the extent of licensing, to the extent of pitching to people and all these things, right? So when you start as young as that age, then you automatically will learn a lot of things.
So you learn a lot from your first job.
Yeah,
a startup that you have to, other than just like hands-on the 3D work, you're really starting to
going
approach,
beyond
like, business and everything.
Talking to cinema or a lot of things.
Wow.
A lot of things, because again because when we started the project of the first 3D animated feature film, right? So you have nobody to refer to. Nobody will tell you what format, how to render what size. And back then it was using reels. Right, physical reels that they will stick. Right, so a lot of things that we just learn on the fly.
I see.
Right, so which is very precious experience for
I think
us.
so. I can totally relate to that, because I think there's a lot of artists who wants to do artist work, which is okay.
Yeah.
But once certain artist has that passion to involve in other stuff, management, business, then you can really see how the whole industry they works, and you can do a lot more than just
you
3D work itself.
The exposure will bring a lot of understanding for you.
Yeah, exactly. And especially it also improve you as a person, communication wise, how to social with people, networking and all.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that plays a huge role in you starting Monsta.
But what is the mindset? Because you were from doing production, right? Then are you all along you really love into involving in management and business? So you like jump over to
understand. I think typically artists are introvert.
I think we're still all introvert in some ways.
Right, it's pretty draining, right? Networking and all those things. So typically, of course, when you start a business, that's when you need to start thinking about different things, right? So you have to go beyond artist mindset, right? So the commitment, and I still remember the day when we decide to actually form Monsta. Now it's Monsta lah. Back then it's Monsta. It's a discussion whereby we say that leaving a job is one thing, but do we really want to open a business? Because that's when you are no longer an animator. You are a boss. You are a business owner. You're an entrepreneur, right? So you need to sort of unlearn a lot of things, right? And then start to put in more other things into it, right? So a lot of things that we have discussed before even we started, right? So once we agreed, like, okay, fundamentally, if we were to start this one, then these are the roles of each person that we need to carry. These are the area of improvement that we need to start stepping out from our comfort zone and start learning, right? So then only when you know what you are signing up to, then only you know how to create the right steps towards fixing all the obstacle, fixing all the problems.
Because the stakes are so much higher compared to an employee, right? Now you need to care about your employees' pay and everything. So it's a lot more stressful than just. But how did you guys start it? Did you guys use your own, capital that you guys have, every single cent that you guys have, or you have funding from partners, investors?
So of course we are really fortunate, because there are some of our shareholders, they did actually lend some money, borrow some money from the family and things like that. So the family members are very, very, very supportive, and it can be tricky sometimes, right? Because especially if you involve your business with family member, right? So it comes from love. Right. So this is something that, to be honest, until today we still feel in debt to, because without that, I think there's no Monsta today lah. Right. So of course, after that, after a certain period of time, that's when we start to have this incubation program by MDEC, Mac3.
Okay.
Right. And then there's like some grant to kickstart your project, for season or things like that. So a lot of things fall into the right place at the right time. Yeah.
But during that period when you were in Mech 3, right? What is the size of the team during that time?
We started with 7, and then we add some interns or something. I think that's we increased to maybe 15. Not. I think we complete the first season of BoBoiBoy with only around 20 people.
Oh, wow.
You check the credit, you can see lah. So it was really tough work
During the incubator.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first 13 episodes. It was quite a crazy task.
And you were also doing the hands-on work as well with all the
animation.
co-founders. You have 5 co-founders, right?
Yeah, every single one.
Just a quick question, like for the 3D artists, were you a generalist back then, or were you like a modeler, animator?
I'm primarily an animator.
Oh, okay.
But I know every single processes like rendering, compositing. Not so on modeling because my partner Safwan is really good at modeling.
I see.
Some part of the concept art, my drawing is not really good, but I'm the only one that can draw. so I have to do concept art. So more of every single thing lah, but primarily in animation.
So during the incubator period, you have to one leg kick everything lah, from concept, modeling, animation, rendering, lighting, all the way.
Yeah, have to.
I see.
But how do you all survive? Like, because I'm also in the incubator.
Yeah.
I also I think I'm in the. I was in 2009, 2018, 2018 or 19. I'm that batch lah. So hello senior. I mean, like, because during even my period, it's very tough to survive.
Yeah.
And you have like about 15 people, and for us, we don't have any money. We have to do other services in order to sustain it.
Yeah.
Then and even the time we also able to do at least one episode only, but you did 15.
Yeah.
15 episodes, right?
13 episodes. Yeah.
Wow, I mean that is like
it's hard work lah. It's hard work. That's why a lot of even our interns back then, currently are still working at our company.
Wow.
Right? Because for us, they are part of the pioneer team. We did sacrifice a lot lah. That you sleep day and night. You just literally that's your home lah.
Yeah.
Right. So for us, it's very simple calculation that whereby each person can do how many seconds per day, and then you just. It's very down to the
60, 90 seconds per day.
Yeah, but we used to do 38 seconds per person. So a lot of hard work that I think a lot of people do not want to go through.
Yeah.
Right. So, and also a lot of creative pipeline.
Yes.
Like for example, we cannot afford storyboard.
Right.
So we need to straight jump into the 3D part. For example, BoBoiBoy is an elemental superhero.
Yeah.
But I cannot do simulation. So that's why the first 3 power is earth, lightning, and wind.
So there's no water.
There's no water, there's no fire. We save it for later. Right. So a lot of creative decision need to be done. During the process. That's why, a lot of neighborhood scene in the first season of BoBoiBoy, that's not like now lah, right? Travel across galaxy and all. So, but we have, how to say, you need to know the ultimate goal, and then you break it down, and then only you focus, on the achievable target using the limited resources that you have. Right. But ultimately, when you travel through seasons and people didn't even know that feels that it's actually something low quality. Like I mean, look at One Piece. Best example. The first chapter is not right. So everyone starts somewhere. I think that's something that people overlook. Right. Everyone's just like, I want to start a company. I need a few million to do a season, and I want to be like Pixar and all. But you don't forget, Pixar start somewhere.
Yeah.
See, Pixar start from a servicing company for Disney.
Yes.
Right. So everyone starts somewhere. So you need to refer to that somewhere. Right. Then only what's the right steps.
But now back to like BoBoiBoy, the whole journey, right? Yeah. In hindsight, you mentioned about Disney, Pixar, they went through that. I mean, in hindsight, now it looks that's the right thing to do, right? But back then when you were developing IP, BoBoiBoy, how do you feel? Do you feel that this is too risky, I'm not sure this is going to work out? Or you feel that, this is something that I believe in fully, let's go for it.
Yeah.
How was your thought back then?
Again, good thing when you are young.
When you're young and dangerous.
You basically have nothing to lose. Right, so that's the best part, right? Like there's no such thing as risk calculation back then, right? Aside from the hutang that we need to pay back, right, but there's no such thing as the risk calculation over there. So it's all about, you know, okay, this is something I want to do, let's do it together, and that's all. And then wow, it works. Okay, what's next, right? So I think there's not much of a risk, but very much of how far can we go? Because when you are doing something that other people never do before, nobody will judge. Like when people will judge you, but people won't say like, you know, this guy is better. You know, before this, the other guy is better, right? So for us, it's just blank canvas over there, right? So the more you achieve, the higher it gets, and then the further we can climb, right? So that's the thing that we have in mind. To be honest, we don't think too much. I think nowadays there's too many people feeding themselves with too much knowledge when they start a business. I think that's the biggest issue.
It's like analysis paralysis kind of thing, right?
Yeah, too much watching TED Talk before. I mean, this is one of them. but I think keep things simple is the best. It's the best. I think all the big entrepreneur out there, that's how they do it. Like they, you know, of course, people will tell you differently in documentary, but
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, just so that you know you have the perception of you cannot do it. but most people actually just do.
Did you have this entrepreneurial mindset blood in you when even during your school days? Were you someone like, you know, you want to do something big, or you start to evolve as you go?
You know, I've been a huge fan of anime for as long as I can remember. And if you're anything like me, you know how hard it is to find high quality, 100% authentic licensed collectibles and merch without spending hours searching online. That's why I want to put you onto something special today. This episode of the Entrepreneur Journal is proudly sponsored by O Gacha, your go-to destination for the best collectibles, figurines and anime merchandise. They are giving you an exclusive 10% online discount of all in-stock items, no minimum spend, no hidden terms, just one-time access to premium collectibles at a discount. So here's how you get it. Subscribe to our channel, The Entrepreneur Journal on YouTube. Once you hit that subscribe button, head over to the link stated in our description below and claim your 10% discount. It's just that simple. So if you have been eyeing that must-have figure or collectibles, now is your chance to grab it. Support our podcast, support the ACG community, and treat yourself to some awesome merch. Terms and conditions apply. Now, back to our conversation.
To be honest, I think opening a business is the last thing I want to do, to be honest.
Really?
But if I'm talking about school days, I think I do have a very simple, I don't know, is it built in or is it what, but I do services to my friends to trade in return to get the Dragon Ball trading cards, the rare ones. I see. So usually I would do their homework or things like that. So I'm not sure it start there, but to be honest, I'm not considering myself as a true entrepreneur. I don't intend myself to be one until we decide to open this company. Yeah, I'm not that good vision yet lah. When I was young.
But yeah, like, I mean, come back to the BoBoiBoy and also Mechamato.
Yeah. Sorry,
right?
brief off away a bit. Yeah.
Maybe my question is like, have you imagined like really like BoBoiBoy and Mechamato would be like this big in Southeast Asia, and then is this big influential for, you know, with everyone, especially in Malaysia?
Yeah, it's again within our intention. One of the main reason why we did BoBoiBoy as our first IP, because we think that our new generation need their own superhero. So one of the issue about our generation is that we feel inferior when it comes to countries like Japan or the Western countries, mainly because we grow up with their superhero.
Yes.
Right. So we think that, you know, media play a big influence into the childhood of the kids, shaping their mindset. Right. So nowadays, I think we are quite proud that saying that when we do BoBoiBoy, when you ask the BoBoiBoy, the kids nowadays, you ask them, can BoBoiBoy defeat, for example, a Marvel superhero? They're like, yeah, for sure. So you're growing up in that space. ultimately, when, for example, you participate in a global contest, in the screw projects, right? They automatically doesn't feel as intimidated as us, right? Because we are just normal human, across globally, right? So for us, we do have such intention, but how effective it can be is not up to us to control. So for us, it's all about just creating the story that we have in mind, and then it works out better and better. But for Mechamato, it's a little bit different because of the experience that we gain from BoBoiBoy. We start to think that, can we do something that can travel further, right? Because we understand that BoBoiBoy is very Southeast Asian rooted, and it's very mass target audience, so it's very deep into the heart of the Southeast Asian. But Mechamato is positioned wider into the Asia Pacific region. So when we develop, in fact, even the title, sounds a little bit Japanese, right? So, and then there's a lot of episodes, and the concepts of it. In fact, when we start developing, we talk to a lot of Japanese companies, just to learn about, how similar we are. Because everyone will be talking about our differences, but you'll be surprised that the Japanese kids are the same like us, because we grew up with Japanese anime. What?
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
so we are not that far, right? So we do have the right understanding, right? So the good thing about taking such mold or model is that there are already globally, there are already a lot of kids around the world that is familiar with, for example, robot fighting transformation concept. Right. Then we put our multiracial characters into it. We put our local food
flavor
into it. Right. So like all this cendol, curry puff, everything we put into it. Right. Then it suddenly become a very interesting mixture. So Mechamato is very much built based on our understanding and knowledge. BoBoiBoy, we have an idea and intention, but we don't really fully know what kind of final form that it will take. To be honest, we never imagined BoBoiBoy go to Galaxy, right? So those are the things that we figure out along the way. Yeah. So of course, when we build our future IP, then that's when we have better understanding in different region of the behavior. Then perhaps we can do even better job.
I see.
Yeah.
So BoBoiBoy is basically, I will understand, it's like a pilot, a POC, a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Then it will bring you learn everything from here. Then after that, there you have Mechamato, and of course Papa PP as well, right?
Yeah.
Back then, when you guys launched BoBoiBoy, how did it receive? How did it perform?
It was really, really good. Like because because from the first episode, like it shocked us, to be honest.
Wow. Okay.
So of course, so when we started doing BoBoiBoy, at that time the highest viewed show was Doraemon, like NTV7, right? So our time, and then there's the younger time.
7 p.m.
Exactly.
Everybody
So it's Doraemon is the highest rated show of all time for I think more than 2 decades, right? So we had a goal. We say that we need to surpass that, because otherwise, you can only dream lah. Because if you cannot surpass other foreign animation in your own home ground, then don't talk about going abroad, right? So and we were really fortunate also. TV3 was really supportive.
I see.
Because it was the first local animation on TV3. Okay, so our previous previously it was on TV9. So TV3 this is the first time. So when they start airing it at prime time for the kids and all those first episodes, we get really good rating. But I think it was at episode 3 or 4 is when we surpassed Doraemon. And then the next week we surpassed even our own record.
Oh wow!
And then that's when the boom of Facebook, everyone just keep talking about BoBoiBoy, and because again there's no superhero. Animated superhero back then, right? And then action show, and so it was quite a amazing ride back then. Like it was instant boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we thought like when you do this, I mean, you know, you have to pick up somewhere.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
like
thought so too.
Like,
even the first
Like in-
episode already booming. I mean, like, oh my god.
so you think that was like a jackpot moment, or you felt that back then the market wasn't so saturated with so many?
Yeah, I think
IPs.
again when it comes to business, how to say, being at the right place at the right time is crucial for every single one, right? So for us, that's why we keep on saying we want to do the first superhero. You know, we want to introduce our own local superhero because to our surprise, nobody have done it before.
I see.
Right, so there's a lot of other animations, but nobody has done it before. It's just right in front of your eyes to grab. Right, so we at that point of time we don't think about things that is too artsy or too complicated. Right, we think about what's in the market that's for us to grab, and we create it, and it works. Right, so being at the right time, which is a right place, which is TV3. Right, so then on top of it, the social media side and all those, and then Nizam is very hardworking on the social media engagement side. So he did a lot of, for example, interaction. Cosplaying using our characters.
Oh wow! I
Right.
personally do that.
Yeah, so like it was for us. It was ahead of time back then, right? You
Sounds like it. Definitely sounds
yeah,
like it.
yeah, and then people feels like I'm part of the characters
Yeah.
before the show is even released, right? So we use our character to talk to the audience back then, right? So everyone are interacting and going viral, before there's like viral.
This kind of word.
So it was really ahead of time. So that's what contributed to it, lah.
I see.
Like everyone just stick in front of their TV, just wait for the show. So then
Wow.
then everyone just start posting their photos of watching the show with the family. So it was a really good experience, lah.
So
Wow.
initially is I think more to local broadcast, which is local TV.
Yeah.
What makes you suddenly like want to go into YouTube, and how YouTube this revenue stream coming into big picture for
Yeah.
Monsta?
Yeah. So when during our era, the biggest revenue stream always coming from TV and DVD. DVD.
Okay.
So when all the piracy, right? So Speedy Video.
Oh yeah. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
The golden age, right? So that's usually what happened. But when in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, that's when DVD start to drop.
Okay.
Right, like drastically. That's when PD video also start to close down, right? So and my DVD licensee, which is also one of my business mentor, lah, right? So he told me that he already switched to YouTube.
Oh.
Right, it's from music industry. So usually
see.
music industry switch faster. So and then at the point of time also we do have some obstacle whereby the TV broadcasting frequency has a little bit has been reduced by quite a bit, and then we have what's that called? We have these clients and sponsors that already sign up with us. Then we cannot do it without exposure of the content, right? So that's when we discussed. I still remember it was really hard decision to make. So what we did is not about just opening up a YouTube channel, because in 2014 everyone just opened a YouTube channel, put in 30-second promos and promote the show to watch it on TV. So that's the purpose of YouTube channel back then. Right. So but when we discuss with Nizam and everyone, and then we start to think that, you know what, I think in the future digital is not going away. Right, we are watching YouTube back then, right? So it's not going away. I think we have to do some bold move. So that's when we start to open our Monsta channel. And good thing, the YouTube team is in Malaysia. Some of them are from Singapore. They give us the MCN account straight away.
Oh.
And then again, right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
Right place at the right time.
Yeah, so that's why we when we start talking to them, they start to say that they start to enlighten us about what happened in the West, right? That's like all these content creators start putting things into YouTube, and then Nizam said that, you know what, let's bring it to another level. Let's convert YouTube into living room watching culture. Right. So then that's when we provide I mean, that's when it's a good, what's that called? There's a good strategy even for YouTube. Because Audiosaw is all these unboxing videos.
Yes, correct.
There's
Correct.
there's not many mainstream content put into the YouTube platform. Right, so that's when we meet with the YouTube team together with Nizam, we say that this is the thing that we want to do. They gave the full support to us. Right, so that's when we start hosting our episode first on YouTube.
I see.
So it was a really bold move. It was a really crazy move and pissed off a lot of people along the way.
Wait. So you moved from YouTube totally abandoning the traditional?
No, I mean we still
cable?
have traditional, but
Yeah.
first on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
We did things first broadcast on YouTube. Yeah. So of course there are people that won't be happy about it because we are again ahead of time.
Yes.
Nobody has done it before. But now look at us. I mean, look at the current situation. Everyone, including the big media companies, are putting their own content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Like us as well.
Yeah.
Our
So
main level is coming on YouTube.
yeah. So I mean, usually when we receive this kind of, how to say, when we see this kind of trajectory, we need to act fast before everyone else start.
I think that requires a lot of forward thinking as well because back then not much of people doing, not many people doing it.
Nobody is doing
but
it.
you guys have to see it before everyone does
Yeah.
it.
And you took the risk.
Yeah.
We still even took it to the next level whereby, because if you open a YouTube channel and you only have 13 episodes per year, it's not going to fly.
Yeah, you need to
So
churn out
what,
a lot of
what
content.
we did is when we go to the market, we talk to the Japanese content creators. Japanese, like I talked to Doraemon, I talked to Pokemon.
Okay.
I talked as early as 2015, 2016. Right, when TV is still like
Yeah.
crazy big. Right, so a lot of them like, okay, so we started off with a lot of toy content.
Toy content.
Yeah, toy contents, because toy companies doesn't really tie to the broadcasters. Right, so usually they will move faster. So our Monsta channel hosts a lot of anime episodes and a lot of different kind of episodes. We also work with some of the local creators that's not able to penetrate to the TV stations. So we work a lot. So we have a full channels running like a real TV channel.
So it's just not only promoting your IP BoBoiBoy, but you
Yeah.
also do actually other stuff
Yeah.
for your YouTube channel. Right?
Yeah, back then.
Okay.
Back then, because we don't have enough content.
Yeah, because you only have like 13, 15
Yeah, yeah.
episode, and then
Yeah.
that is already in the local TV, and
Yeah.
then right now straight away into YouTube.
So you want kids to come and subscribe to your channel, you need to have a lot more content. Right. Of course, BoBoiBoy, our own IP is the main driver.
Yes.
Right. But you still need to have a lot more.
I
Right.
see.
So that's but for us until today, I think that's one of our biggest.
Well, even back then, you're already starting to like doing this like so-called creator economy, like getting other creators to come in and then promoting in your channel.
Yeah.
But is it all related to your IP, but it's a different things?
So we do work with, for example, third-party contents, like even from the locals, like like Okolele.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
we are the first one that started hosting their content
I see.
before they graduated from our channels. Right, because the founder of Okolele is my cosmate in MMU.
Is it Charlie or?
Yeah, Charlie.
Oh,
I mean, all of
okay,
them
okay.
actually, the whole team. Right, so
I see.
so he had a problem because the content is not really suitable for the TV stations. Right, so we say like, you know what? Let me boost you to the first million views, and then
Okay.
you take it. You go
Then you
to
go
other
from there.
places. Yeah, right.
Oh,
So they said, okay, let's do it. Right. So they did honor the whole arrangement and all those things. Then here they are.
Yeah.
So of course, third party content. For the creators, UGC side is basically a lot more towards we just encouraging people doing it. Sometimes our account reposting things, amplifying things, right? But a lot of them are on their own initiatives. Our fandom are really. I'm glad we have our own our fandom lah. They are really supportive. Right? They really do a lot of content.
So you have never engaged fandom, the fandom plug, UGC, like you never engage your fans to do it. They just all do it on their own.
Yeah. So I mean, we do, but we loosely engaging with them. Like for example, sometimes we invite them to events.
Right.
Sometimes some of the exclusive preview. We sometimes we do MonstaCon, right? So we will start inviting some of them over. But again, when you have a lot of fans, it's very hard for you to include every single one, right? So what we did is actually more towards loosely involving them. Some that is really passionate and really good one. Some of them we actually approached and hired them. So our YouTube channel, some of them are actually.
So you do hire some of the user to generate content.
So
just in case UGC is user generated content. And I know a lot of brands is a big thing for brands. Rather than just using influencer, KOL, they use the consumer to create content, which is more authentic.
Our one is a lot. Our growth is all organic growth. Not
organic growth.
Our 35 million subscriber all organic.
Wow.
We don't spend
amazing. That's amazing.
You didn't spend any single cent on boosting it. Wow.
So that's the power of the audience. That's crazy about the audience.
That's amazing.
Really amazing. That's amazing. Like every true is organic.
Every single thing is organic.
So in terms of like the growth of the company, financial and everything, did you guys meet any hiccups? Seems like pretty smooth to me, like how the things grow.
No, I mean
like from one IP to another, how you grow your audience.
And when you met this like difficulty, do you need to make any difficult decision? You know?
We have a lot of things that supposedly goes wrong, but it went smooth. But
at the right time.
doesn't mean that there's no obstacle in the middle. So I think for us it's always about predicting what's going to come, right? For example, like growing the team. I think a lot of animation companies grow the team based on projects. I think that's the biggest issue. That
I totally can relate to that.
Right. So that's the biggest issue. For us, it's always about, okay, if you grow to this scale, what's next? Right. So for example, okay, you do a movie, you increase your team size, and then if the movie do well, what's next? If the movie doesn't do well, what's next? Right. So I cannot react because okay, the movie doesn't do well. I scale down the team, and then I back to series, right? But my team is small, it's not enough to make series. Then I need to refigure back, right? We cannot do that, right? So we have to always predict. Like at 40 people, you can do this. At 50 people, you can do a movie at this quality, right? Being artist, you want to achieve more.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
A lot of time you want to do the best, right? But when you have 50 people, you need to do things at a 50 people scale. You do not scale crazy.
Realistic,
yes,
right.
You have to be really realistic. You don't get misled by the documentary of the okay? like you don't have $200 million to play with, right? So we need to do our own path, right? So a lot of things in our company, our shareholders are very, we are not, to be honest, we are not clever, but a lot of us are like my CEO are very visionary. He know ultimately what we want to do. I'm more towards playing a role that creating the steps. I know how to visualize the steps of doing things. And then my other partner are very good at calculating the financial risk, so everyone are playing our own role, and you are talking about balancing between a very conservative person and a very visionary person, right? And to a certain extent, maybe we will be more aggressive, right? So then how do we sit down together and keep the right balance? That's how we always solve all the obstacles.
I see.
Yeah, so a lot of things that we a lot of hiccups, like we, does clients want to work with us or not? We need to fight with for example, when you air the movie in cinema, like it or not, people are comparing you back to back with Disney because it's same ticket price. Zootopia or BoBoiBoy movie 1, right? And then Mechamato movie is even worse. Mechamato movie or Avatar.
That is when they air at the same time.
My next Papa PP movie is going to be Avatar 3. Right. So you like it or not, people will compare. So how do you justify? So all these challenges, all these things that keep on hitting us, and the right combination of problem solving, right? That's what make things solve smoothly. That's why it appeared to be smooth, but there's a lot of things at the back that contribute to it.
Would you say also, from what I heard, that you have a pretty right partnership, with all the founders? That you have someone who is aggressive, you have someone who take calculated risks. I think, will you say that is one of the key success of the whole company?
Of course, I won't. For me, the biggest success is definitely the team. Definitely, right. Without those talents, I think we are nobody, right? Because we are not the best artists, all of us. Again, none of us know how to draw to begin with. But of course, when it comes to the partnership, it's been 19 years, right? Including when literally from the day we graduated at the 22 years old until today.
And then everyone also studied the same college as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's the same place. It's just that Nizam is my senior. 1 year, right? So when I approached him, he said like, we are doing a first 3D animated feature film. You want in? I was like, this is my dream, man. Right, so
why not include me in?
right, but until today, that's of course, it's not much about just a lot of people think that it's because of the expertise of each one of us. But no, I think partnership comes in the form of mutual respect. I think that's what a lot of people don't have. Like when you grow to a certain area, to a certain stage, you will start to think that this is what I did. This is this was my decision. That's why this is successful. Right? Or this screw up so bad, this was your decision. Right? So usually partnership is like that. But because we always have mutual respect. To the certain extent, when we do decision, we do it collectively. Even if one of us doesn't agree, we will need to sink ourselves into it. Like, okay, I don't agree, but we need this. This is what we agreed on, and let's make this happen. Right.
That's amazing, because you have 5 founders, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of founders for a company.
Everyone have to be agree.
You need to put your ego aside.
Yeah. How can you give a scenario, like how do you guys come, like is there any big disagreement that we can use as example, like,
and what are your
frameworks?
frameworks?
Framework to resolve, get everybody back.
I understand that. I think nothing extremely specific, but let's just take for example, right? A simple decision as when we do our trading card. Right, so when we do our trading card, Nizam's decision is we cannot do blind pack because we do not want to indirectly encourage kids to towards gambling. Right, so and I am a number guy.
Sorry, what's blind pack?
Blind pack.
Blind pack.
Yeah,
okay.
you cannot do blind pack. Right, no gacha.
Okay.
Right, so kids need to know what they are paying for. Right, so I'm the number guy. And then we talk to retailer, they are fully on the numbers.
Definitely.
Can imagine.
Right, so I mean, those are $1 million decisions. Right, then in the end, we will spend days or weeks to convince each other. Okay, we will spend days and weeks to convince each other until like, okay, I understand, I get it, okay. Right.
But will there a moment like probably Nizam saying, I told you many times already I don't want to do this.
There's no, how to say, usually things won't work if you do a dictator way of doing things, right? Because in the end, you need the whole team to believe in certain ideology. Then only they can execute the thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it will be just like a boss command. And then if the sales not doing well, they will blame on it. Right, they will just blame totally on it. Right, they won't say like, okay, let's find another way. Right, so those are the things that's our culture of decision making, and that's just one of the example.
Amazing.
Right, so
Amazing.
yeah, especially when the temptation of money.
Yeah, it's the biggest killer of any relationship.
Yeah, and you need. I mean, it's not about money to our pocket. You need to pay salary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
to the
So
people.
why reinvent things that already works? Right. So there's a lot of things on the philosophy level, on the ideation level, is the one that always, because for us, if we don't fix that one, then we will go like very far. Like 20 years down the road, you are supposed to be here, and then you are there already.
Right.
So those are the things that.
So you guys already have a code that you guys are following, like in the beginning,
Yeah.
that we remind each other that
Yeah.
whatever happens,
Yeah.
let's say if your disagreement, you're angry about something,
Yeah.
we come back to this.
Yeah. We won't even need to result into votes. We don't even do voting.
Wow, that's
overtime,
amazing.
Because it's all about mutual respect and mutual understanding.
Yeah.
Then only we can go
Yeah,
very far.
Yeah, that's very precious because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so hard to find.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's-
And there's 5 people.
Yeah.
5 people. There's bound to have at least one person who, you know.
And
Yeah.
have to convince every single one.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's good lah. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
each one of us has, of course, mutual respect also towards the leadership lah.
Definitely.
Right, need some leadership. So
I see. So how will you split like the key revenue stream, income stream for your IP? Like for example, BoBoiBoy, right? Like how is the revenue split between like ticket sales, merchandise?
yeah.
Like,
So of course the key pillars I think is just everyone know already lah. Is the content sales, and movie, merchandising and licensing, and also the clients sponsorship side. So each one, if you have a dedicated team to do it, I think automatically everything hopefully will fall into the place lah.
is there one category that brings in more than compared to others? Like you guys see like huge potential in that category.
The way we build is very balanced. Like the way we build our company is, it's scaled like this.
right.
Right. So that's why it actually on the surface it appears to be slower. Right. There's no one that we focus fully on, except for content lah, because the content making need to spearhead every single thing like 5 years in ahead. Right. But the rest we are scaling it proportionally.
Because all your co-founder is working on it at the same
Yeah,
time.
so every single one are taking care of their area, and then we scale proportionally, because otherwise it will be imbalanced, and then company might switch like slanted towards one focus. Right, but the fact is maybe everything has to be balanced. Right, for example, if you are really all into your consumer products, right, and then you will start to neglect your movie business, for example. You will make movie just to sell toys. Yeah, a lot of company, a lot of shows are like that, right? So getting the right balance is very crucial over here. So I won't say that there's like a big difference, like this one contribute 80% of it, no, it's very, very balanced. I'm saying like 30%, 20%, each portion, right? So then we will expand each portion proportionally.
But when you go proportionally, right, I mean, like, how do you all like have this meeting together? Like, what if like one department is not doing like what you said? Because everything is going together, right? But what if like suddenly one department not doing well?
It will happen.
So how you all?
Sometimes it will not do well by quarter. Sometimes it will do well. Usually we will sync although everyone are handling their own part.
Yes.
But we will sync everyone together also. Usually, right? So that okay, let's just say for example, COVID. Okay. My comic book, the first issue of my comic book, literally launched 1 week before COVID lockdown. Okay, so it was a tough decision, and you need to stop printing the comic, right?
Yes.
You have to stop printing the comic, and then the other department need to straight away jump into it. For example, the YouTube side need to upload more contents. That's when Papa Pipi Shorts come into the page. We have remote working, and then we start introducing Papa Pipi series, Papa Pipi Shorts, then because screen time increased, Right. So from there, then you start to get the clients, because client want to spend, but they will only spend not on physical anymore. Lockdown for 2 years, right? So they will spend on digital. So that's when a lot of different clients comes, right? So those are the things we will switch and balance. But when the good days, that's when everyone need to grow together lah.
I see.
So one of the things during COVID that we did is, which is for me, if I look back, it's a scary thing lah. Before COVID, we were 90 people. After coming out from lockdown, we are 140 people. We scale up while everyone's scaling down.
Yeah.
So what Nizam said is that we want to be the first movie after lockdown has been lifted, where everyone go back to cinema. Revenge spending. Right. So Nizam said, let's speed up our movie. So the whole Mechamato movie, almost all of them are remotely made from home. Right. So that's a crazy, and a lot of new stuff we don't even know get to meet them. Right. Until after COVID. Right. So those are the certain decisions that we have to make, because at that point of time CP is not doing well, so we need to have movie and other things comes in.
So that is where you mentioned about balancing.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's like this not happening.
Yes.
So this should be supporting this.
Yes.
So when the right time comes, this will be come back again.
Then
and
we will
manage again.
That's when duplicate effect. That's when the multiplying effects.
I see.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to really ask you, like, because some of them, like, really, because you don't know which one will do well, and which one will do well first, and which one is like,
It's like diversifying.
We won't know. We won't know.
So you always have the kind of like flexibility.
Yeah,
everyone
you
should
need to
be ready.
Yes.
And adjust when the time comes, like, oh, this one cannot, then have to adjust back. Use what strategy in order to balance it back. So the right time comes, this one will boost back after that. Wow.
Yeah. So that's why right people is important.
Yeah.
Right people
Wow, your five co-founders is like really wow.
So sounds like the 5 partner working really well together. But how about the team culture in the company? Like, how do you guys influence your team, and what kind of culture you guys are building in the studio itself?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So on our side, we start the team culture side starting from recruitment. So when we recruit, we always recruit people that wanted to contribute into local animation industry. Right. So it's always the dream. Right. So usually when we interview, we will let everyone know that this is a very tough thing to do. Right. And it's not going to be rainbow and sunshine every day in the studio. Right. Of course we will take care of the work-life balance and all the other things, but it's the hard thing is never about the hours or workload only. The hard thing is about the amount of pressure that you are having coming directly from millions of people. Because, for example, if you are doing servicing job for a project, all you need, I mean, I'm not downplaying the problem, there's a lot of problem, but you need to get is the approval from the client, right? And then your task actually ends there. But for us, the task will never end, because when you serve to millions of people, and then there will be feedbacks, there will be complaints, right? There will be a lot of complaints, for example, right? So a lot of things like that is what make things challenging. And then when you are giving your best, and you go to the global stage, and you realize that your best is not good enough, then you need to rethink everything. So we need to have a team that's willing to go through that, right? So they need to know that all this hardship is for what, right? So that's why for the team, I won't say all, but most of them know that the amount of satisfaction comes from it is the one that rewarding them the most. Right, so when they do all these things and it is shown in the cinema, it is shown to millions of people, and people actually enjoy it. I mean, the best thing about surfing directly to the consumer is that they can actually see that you struggled a lot when doing the movie. without us showing in the making of. Right? People really appreciate your hard work. Right? I think that's something money cannot buy. So for us, the team culture is always like that. So it's always that, you know, you wanted to do it, and then everyone will try to put their best into their part. Of course, I won't say everyone are like that, but at the very least, we try our best to make sure most of them are like that, just so that we don't have to micromanage. Like every single week, I have production meeting with the whole company. Like, I don't have to do that because they will do all the self QC. A lot of them will be proposing like, I want to do this, I want to do that. We will be the one that say that I don't think it's practical.
Calm down, guys. Calm down, guys.
Okay, next movie we do it. This movie you do this. Right. So they are very passionate into pushing certain thing forward. But of course, tough time hits, deadline, crunch time, and things like that. That's when things gets negative. Sometimes maybe, right? That's normal, right? But ultimately, I think we just built a team that everyone just feel really proud of. Contributing a single frame into the shot.
I think you have to be very self-driven, especially if you are working on your own IP.
Yeah.
Because I can totally relate to what you were saying. Because I come from the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, we do servicing work with the biggest client, right? So we get feedbacks from the client. Like as I said, job's done, finished. That's it. You know. So we are kind of like used to getting instruction, feedback, everything. But when it comes to doing our own IP, it becomes very different. Everybody's like waiting for feedback, waiting for the instruction, the art direction, instead of like pushing themselves. So the switch is really, really difficult. That's why I can understand the struggles that how you train the people to be self-driven, take ownership of the product that they're working on, right?
Yeah. Of course, it's not everything is fancy. Sometimes we need to come in and say, you know, stop all this. Right. So let's go back to reality and let's be more practical.
Yeah, the downside is when there's too many people giving input, it's everywhere, right?
So we usually will have like all the layers of leadership will, you know, monitor and make sure, right? So then everyone have their right amount of freedom.
That leads me to the next question. How do you guys decide which decision should be made? Like if there's so many people giving inputs, everybody wants to do the way that they're doing, you know, that and feel this will benefit the product. The leadership will comes in to decide how do you guys filter that process?
On the production level, usually the director and also definitely head by Nizam is that he will usually paint a very very clear direction that everyone can visualize. Like for example, like okay, for this movie we are trying to achieve up to this, right? Most importantly, for example, is the fighting scene, for example. And then, I mean, things like that is not like 30-page slides. It's a very simple instruction that everyone understand. And then, when the leaders start passing it down, then that's when things might get, misaligned or things like that, right? So usually whatever things happen, we will refer back to what we are ultimately trying to achieve objectively, right?
Which is set by Nizam.
Yes. So usually he will paint a very, this movie I want to challenge this, right? For Mechamato series, the audience is going to be this group of people and it has to be done this way, right? Then we will definitely detour. Like every 3 months, every 6 months, right? It will detour. Like, don't you remember what I said during the first day? Right. Then everyone, okay, sorry. Yeah, I just realized that I've sidetracked. Right. So things like that we usually, so we don't change. We always go back. This movie is for family. Okay, family moment is important. All these things. This movie is for superhero. I'm trying to be, whatever. Right. So this is for Japanese audience also can enjoy. So, the movement, so there's a lot of things, a few key points that usually we will just
come back to the
vision, the first principle.
Yes, for every project, right? So then I think, of course, it will go far and all. I mean, it will go side, but usually it will bring back quite frequently, quite okay lah so far.
So I had to bring out the cane to stun everybody who go out of the vision.
But this will be affected like because it's not only internal, right? You also have external point.
Yeah.
So external is basically your consumer.
Yeah.
Because I believe your
Yeah.
consumer product or your production will definitely hear about consumer side, right? The feedbacks.
Yeah.
How do you take this? Like because there are millions of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have to listen. Oh,
Yeah,
your product is not good, but some
Yeah.
product will say they are good.
Yeah.
So how do you balance this?
So I think first thing first, everyone just need to realize that it's impossible for you to please everyone.
Definitely.
So that's a very simple statement, but most people don't really internalize that thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to reading social media, a lot of people will do selective reading. Right. So it depends on what kind of person you are. Right. So if you are the type that is very low self-esteem, you have 1,000 comment that praises your work, and then you have 3 comments that bash
They
it.
crush you.
You will just select that 3 comments and just right. So for us, reading comment is never about verifying. What we want to tell. What kind of story we want to tell. No, it's never about that. Reading comment to certain extent is going to be just for the maybe the team that work directly on the space, like social media team.
I see.
Right. So the creative team for us, we highly encourage them, not exactly not to read, but don't get too affected by it, because for us, ultimately, since the earliest day, we just do the same thing whereby we tell story that we want to tell, right? Because if every single episode, every single movie, you react according to comments, it will be a bunny hole that it will be a rabbit hole that you cannot come out from, because your fans base will keep on splitting and keep on splitting and keep on splitting smaller and smaller, right? Because you cannot please everyone. So that's why once you realize and internalize that you cannot please everyone, and then your purpose of getting into this industry is actually wanting to tell your own story, then just stick to it. Just stick to it. Then of course we are not perfect. Definitely we are not perfect. So we are not number one, we are not perfect, but we will do our best to improvise one at a time. I think that's why our fan base stay with us until today. Of course, along the path, there's a lot of people change, to other show and all these things, which is totally normal. Applies to us. So it's okay. Right, so don't get too affected, because those are a lot of noises and distraction, and those are good things. Because for us, I think the scariest thing maybe is when nobody is talking about you.
Especially you're in the media and the digital space.
I think getting people comment negative things is way better than nobody commenting.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Even bad or good.
Yeah, even bad or good.
So yeah.
Yongbin, I want to ask you, right? Because since you have already have content, which is movie, series, TGC, comic book, and then toys, and then some merchandising. What's next for you?
I really want to do game, to be honest. Doing game is like opening another company altogether.
True, very different.
And then none of us have the technical know-how. None of our shareholders and all those. So it's very hard for us to give a very strong direction. As in, like, for example, in our other segment of business, we do have a very strong people, director level or C level that really take care of it. But when it comes to game, it is something that we don't even know what kind of position that we need. Is it game director, game designer? Who do I hire first? Right. So of course, I'm still actively trying to look into. We're still trying to look into maybe partnership with studios, game studios, or maybe game licensing. We do have some game collaborations. Like we have one with Game Loft. Just a casual endless running game has 17 million downloads.
Wow.
So it does have a big potential, but I still need to know. I need to strengthen the other pillars. We need to strengthen all the other pillars first, then we might go deeper into it. We did a Roblox game, Mechamato Roblox game, which is pretty good. But again, when it comes to Roblox, how about monetization?
Yes.
Right. So there are a lot of things that's still learning and figuring things out.
I see.
Yeah. Because that's one of the last remaining components for us. But
like
of
the
course,
package, right? Like that's the package that you want,
the components, right? So for us, it's definitely existing components. There's still a lot of space to travel, like a lot of market expansion need to be done, but it's not built from zero, right? So for the game portion is the one that we have
really look into it.
Yeah, we have yet actually even starting to look into it, but ultimately we would love to have that. Ultimately, but for now we focus on growing the business first.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, driving the whole company too thin is not a good thing also.
Yeah. True.
But coming back to like the current market now, right? Back then, the landscape, you guys launched BoBoiBoy, instant hit. But now, coming up with new products, new IP, do you find it harder and harder to gain attention? Like with so many, I know there's much more opportunity now, so many platforms you can distribute your IPs and all.
Yeah.
But is it getting tougher and tougher to gain attention?
Yes and no. Good thing we have a good head start. Good thing our audience base stick with us. And also this is a problem that we have, partially solved in terms of vision. That's why we built a universe instead of every single new IP we have to build from scratch. Right. So when we did a Power Sphere universe, that's when your existing fan base usually will just go from show to show. Maybe not the series. Maybe. Right, because certain series are not for them, right? But ultimately, when it comes to Monsta, people know these are our shows, right? So I think that side, like having a strong home ground or strong primary support layer, is actually very crucial, which will give us the luxury to try something more risky. Like for example, digital shots, for example, Papa Zola straight away in the movie, for example, doing toys and things like that, because we already know that. So coming back to your question, the no part is the behavior change that keep on evolving.
Yes.
We just start to figuring out Gen Z, then Gen Alpha come, right?
Correct.
And they are totally different behaviors.
Yes.
Right. So Gen Z, we already sort of understand, using BoBoiBoy and all these things. Right. But when it comes to Gen Alpha, you're talking about skippity toilet, I show speed.
I show speed.
I cannot duplicate that. I cannot do that. Right. So those are the things that, to be honest, we don't have full answer, but certain portion of our show are still working really well with them, right? That's why we are aggressively moving into a lot of digital content, collaboration with influencers, things like that. So we go beyond TV space, right? So a lot of things we are still learning, to be totally honest, and I think it won't end, because once we have figured out how to serve content to Gen Alpha, that's when Gen Alpha will come up with their own AI animation show.
Yeah.
Right. So it will just keep on changing until the day you feel like, it's too tiring for me. I just want to go back and just go to Kampo and pass to the young people.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that two different balancing portion. One is maintaining your existing fan base, or your expanding your existing fandom or your existing audience base. Another portion is the future portion. To be honest, that not exactly my problem. Because I'm old at that time, right? But you need to set the company to the right track so that the next person in charge
the Gen Alpha can come and take over the company.
Yes. The new CEO maybe in the future, right? So that will actually know, okay, this is the track, right? So those are the challenging things.
Yeah. The question I asked is because I think a lot of studios, especially the big studios in US, they are also trying to find out what's going on in the market. Like you mentioned a good point about Gen Alpha, which I feel came out right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because the pandemic really changed
Yeah,
consumer
yeah,
behavior.
yeah.
So like
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
studios are trying to find like
Yeah.
what
Ways
people want to
to-
watch
Yeah,
nowadays, and even
yeah.
the cinema,
Yeah.
there's the crowd is a lot lower than it used to
Yeah.
be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and this leads me to my next question is what is your view on the current state of the animation industry
Uh-uh.
and your views on like AI, the threat of AI,
Mhm.
layoffs, and stuff like that. How do you see it going, next few years?
So technology is here to disrupt people. I mean, when it's just the only difference is that different era has different technology. That's all. So let's just take for example our time. 3D animation is disruption for even Disney. Okay, so we at the age of 22 straight away already can do 3D animation, while there are some animators spend 60 years mastering 2D animation.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just going to keep on doing that. And it would be stupid of us to say that, I'm not going to acknowledge that fact. But does it mean that you going to lay off everyone and then change everything into machine made? For me personally, it is something very, maybe I'm the stupid one, but for me it's something quite stupid to do because simple. Ultimately, someone need to purchase your product and it's not going to be the machines. So for us, disruption should happen because it's normal, but disruption should happen at a very sustainable pace. Okay, so the thing about AI is not because I'm against it. Just like I know, like mass majority of artists are against AI because the main issue about AI is not about the technology. The main issue about the AI is the pacing of the disruption, the speed of the disruption. Right. So I think that's the thing that regulation need to come in place. A lot of things, the companies, for example.
Yep.
So this is actually contributed by the companies. The way they actually releasing the AI patches and also the way they train their AI is the one that is actually in question. Right, because if you're doing it in a very manageable, because AI is not a new thing. AI has been in Google for the longest time, but because they are using it for internal usage.
Yes.
Okay, because they know if they release it out there, then it will disrupt everything. Right, so if you are releasing it bit by bit, then it will be different. Right, so those are the things quite interesting, and it will keep on coming, but it will, for me, it won't happen at our generation, like not exactly our generation, but our age group generation, because we are the awkward one, because we always live in between analog, digital.
The millennials.
Okay, we will be the one trying to adapt while pushing back.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Gen Alpha, nobody will be stopping a 9 years old today using AI launching a TikTok channel. Okay, and it will go viral. It will boom globally. Right, all you need is just something fun and something crazy enough to associate with their group of audience. Right, because ultimately young people set the rule of the game. Okay, just like we used to have our time.
Yeah.
Okay, we are still in our time,
Yeah.
but after this, okay, so there's no point criticizing how the young people doing stuff. Okay, we used to don't like how our parents questioning us collecting toys, for example, playing games, for example, right? But we set the rule. So the young people will set the rule. If the Gen Alpha come out with AI animation studios and all the other things, then we will become grumpy old men.
True.
Right, and you will not change it because they will come and set the rule. But how do we adapt? And how do we adapt? It's mainly very simple because machine-made things are not human. They can have the intelligence of human, but they cannot have the soul of human. Simple. They can appear to be like human, but they are not human.
Yep.
Very simple. Right. So for me, we are not extremely worried about it as long as we keep on doing things that is human good at, which is connecting with people. Telling story that connect with people. I think ultimately, storytelling never changed
Yeah.
throughout thousands years ago. The only thing that changed is the medium of it.
Mm.
Right, from the era of cave drawing and whatever.
Until today.
Like people just relate to story. Okay, and I don't think, maybe technology will be too advanced in the future, but I don't think machine at the current stage able to do that fully. Okay, people will enter a discovery phase that whereby, wow, AI can do this, AI can do that, and all these other things, right? But when it just keep coming, like when the first fast food restaurant opened in Malaysia, you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. But then when you every day consume the same thing, you want to go back to your nasi lemak.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So those are the things that we are.
Yeah, it's always like a cycle, right?
Yes.
It's always a
you
cycle.
Yeah, you
And
go to
there's one moment, right? I don't know when was it, but we all go back to the retro style.
Yeah.
I got one moment.
It's always that's how humans adapt.
yeah.
Right. So I trust in humans' behavior. Right. So like food. Right. So like all this viral food with all the topping of cheese and lobster and all the other thing when it is viral. Right. But after that, people just still go back to the
normal
thing.
food,
Yeah,
right?
normal
That's
food.
why we talk about our recent podcast with the food scientists. Like,
Yeah.
talk about all the fancy stuff that people are doing with food.
Yeah.
In the end, I just want a very simple
Exactly.
fried rice,
Yes.
chao kai tiu,
Yeah.
chicken
chicken
rice.
rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how human senses work.
Yeah.
So that's why we are not too worried, to be honest. But that's,
I think it's just that
challenge.
this period is very painful because a lot of
Yeah.
people wants to know like what is the future like for them.
uncertainties.
Uncertainty,
Yeah.
people are losing job because AI is coming in to
Yeah.
make the work a lot easier,
Yeah.
and the companies are finding it. We
Yeah.
don't need that much of people, many people, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do then with people who got laid off? Like what should they do?
Yeah.
Well, I know we don't have
that.
an answer now, but
That-
I think it's
yeah.
just good to share like our point of view.
Yeah,
like,
that is basically not the the fault of AI technology. It's
Yeah.
never the fault of technology. It's always the fault of the capitalism, the corporate decision and all, which makes sense
yeah.
to them because things has to be done certain way, right? But for us, we don't really do that lah. We don't do that lah. Because for us, we need the human.
Yeah, I mean, human is the one that gives souls to the product, right?
Yeah.
You can use AI to produce
As a tool,
to
it's fine,
create,
yeah,
but
but
you need
it's-
to inject the
Yes.
soul, the human soul into
Yes,
it, right?
yes, we need human.
This year,
Mm.
you have Papa Zola,
Yes,
the movie.
yes.
Like, but why Papa Zola now?
Papa Pipi opened up a new segment of audience for us, which is the family segment, right? Because BoBoiBoy doesn't even get to meet his father.
Somewhere in the galaxy.
Yeah, Mechamato is very much about. He has the family, but he's
Yeah.
very much about him and the robots,
Yes,
friends, and all the
yes.
other things. So it's a lot of friendship stories. We have 2 boy action IPs, friendship stories. So we think that I think family segments is important. Which, I mean, kids, family is actually like very synonym, but you'll be very surprising to find that there's not many family show in the market. Okay, like the those that genuinely are able to be enjoyed together by the parents and the kids.
Oh,
It's either the
Okay.
parents that enjoy it or the kids that
the kids
enjoy it.
Yeah. So you have like a lot of nursery songs that kids enjoy, but
Yeah.
parents kill me. Okay. So we are trying to bring back. You remember during our time, right? We used to sit together with our parents and watch all this Jangan Ketawa.
Oh yeah.
Right. A lot. I mean, we are talking about multiracial sitting together, right? And with the family, and there's a family time together. Nowadays, because of the devices, like parents are busy, and then kids are playing with device and all this. We just want to have something that is half an hour, sit together, and then after that, in the car and all the other things, they will have a lot of things to talk about. Right. So I think that is something that we want to venture into, and that's why we created Papa Pipi. Right. So it was a conversation since the day of BoBoiBoy movie 2 is when we start to introduce Pipi Zola. And Nizam already thought that Papa Pipi need to be a full-fledged project, but it slowed our process because of the COVID. But it was a long time plan already.
Oh, I see.
It's a really long time plan. The only difference is that when the TikTok and the digital platform come, and then we don't have we were busy with Mechamato and all. So we decided that with our production capability, we just do digital shots every single week, and then it worked out pretty well. And then we were like, okay, then let's just go all out with the movie. Right, so because Nizam already have the idea of the Papa Zola movie. So because there's a lot of unanswered questions about this particular character, how he come out from game, is he a game character or not?
I see.
Right. So when we have the movie, then that's when we introduce the new power Sphera, and then that's when later on in the future it will become a full IP on its own.
I see.
Right.
It's the luxury of having a solid IP. You can do spin-off of the character.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I just keep on talking about connecting people with characters. It's never even, I mean, story is extremely important, but for us, character is even more important, because we want to do to a certain extent, which is already happening, that your characters are good enough that every single one just want more screen time for each one of them. Right? Everyone I want to know about this character. I want more story about that. You cannot do that. You cannot give, right? But that's why some other character can be spin-off. Right, so for us, it's all about creating lovable characters, and then we will see, like for example, for Mechamato, everyone want us to do Mas Mana movie, or even live action, and all those things. So when you have a lovable character, then automatically people relate to it and they want more. Right, so I think that's what Papa Zola, I think for the normal people's eyes is a huge risk, but for us is something that is in front of our eyes that we should do.
When is it going to release?
End of this year, hopefully.
Do you guys get like market research or survey, like which character is actually loved the most, and then you guys decide to do a spin-off for that character?
Because usually there's like, I think it's not about who is loved the most. It's very much about which market segment that is important, of course, to the company and also to the audience. Right. So I mean, if you are, usually it's very easy. For us, we just put ourselves in the audience shoe. Right, okay, you have 2 boy action IP. Your family maybe have 1 daughter and one boy. Right, so for example, and then you would love to have something that is, you know, together for each one of them. So each component, of course, we still have a lot of unanswered component in the segment that we need to fulfill in the future, right? So as long as there is space for the kids and family segment, then we will try our best to fill up each and every of the space using our future IP, right? So yeah, so we have 2 boy action. Even the 2 boy action also serve different segments. One is for the Southeast Asia region, another one is for the wider global reach. Yesterday we just announced Mechamato into China. Yeah, China, which is quite a big deal on that one. So that's the best thing about Mechamato. The concept is very easy to actually, you know, convince people to tell. But BoBoiBoy is very more towards deep into heart of the childhood of the audiences. But in order to pitch to broadcaster, maybe there's a lot of smaller frictions whereby, like, you know, the way you tell the story maybe you cannot be done in one line anymore, because you know how we develop the story, like it's very free flow, right? So Mechamato is different. It's very self-contained, right? So it's easier for us to make the broadcaster understand. Then after that, maybe BoBoiBoy can follow through. I don't know, right? So hopefully, so yeah, different IP have different segments.
Yong, what's something that still scares you until even now, after you have achieved all this? This is something that you still like cannot make you sleep at all at night. Is there something that still? Like,
good thing I every day have 8 hours sleep. I think
that's fantastic.
Nothing much actually scared me as a person, but there are things that I don't want to be. As for example, when I hit 70 years old, right? For example, right? So as I grow older and older, because like or not, you don't have energy anymore, right? So a few things that I don't want to be is one of them is I don't want to be this grumpy old man and say back in my time you are doing this wrong, right? Because that is a very hard thing to do, to be honest. We might love it out right now, but in the future we might become one. Okay. So that is something that I'm trying very hard. Whereby, for example, by fixing it, by empowering Gen Z. After this, if I have the energy, I want to talk more to the Gen Alpha, the young people, to see what they are thinking. At the very least, I can understand what they are thinking. Maybe I don't agree with them, but I would love to see them prove me wrong. Right. So those are the things that, to be honest, I'm worried. I don't want to be this guy that denies everything just because you used to be good at certain thing, and then you are forgotten. I think being forgotten and irrelevant. I mean, I as a person, I don't need people to remember me, but at the very least, I would love the shows that we have made to be remembered at certain level. I mean, it won't be ongoing for 100 years. Hopefully it will, but let's be real. We don't even remember what's popular 200 years ago, right? Who's the richest man 200 years ago? True. Time will just wash things out. But we will try our best to be relevant, staying relevant as long as we can. But if we start thinking that, in 5 years' time we are no longer relevant, then it's time to really let go and let the young people run the show. Right. So because age gap is real. Let's not deny it. Right. Like when we were 22 years old writing story for 10 years old, it's easy. I mean, it's not easy. I don't know how to write, but at the very least, the gap is not as huge. But when you are 40, and then when you are 60,
it is.
You are still writing for the 10.
That's wrong. Something wrong there already.
Your story are talking about death. Right. So that's hard. So you need to find bridge. You need to empower people. Right. So that's what scared me. I mean, I'm not again scared, but that's what worried me the most. What if I'm that stubborn? Just because I think I'm that good. Like, are you really that good? Right. So I think those are the things that is always ongoing at our head.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like a 60 years old man.
We never know what we will become.
Yeah.
I think
we try our best.
Yeah, try our best right now and stay.
That's why I don't label people as like, I mean, I do state like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, but I don't label them like Gen Alpha are the people that is, how usually people say they are rude or whatever and all those things. I mean, it's just a number. Because why certain generation that we label act certain way? Because simple, they are young. We used to be that. When we were 25 years old. Right, we are talking about they don't have common sense, they don't have, they are not polite, they are rude and all. But remember, we used to be that. We used to be very rebellious. Don't forget that. Right, we are not always professional. Right, that's so true. I think let's be real on that. Right, so that's why I'm always love working with the young generations.
There's also another point of view where we also have to accept that they are living in a different time back when we were like in our
different upbringing.
Correct. Technology, right? Everything at the fingertips, just a click of the button. We have to wait for stuff, right? So the patience level is much different nowadays as well. So instead of bringing them back to our time, we have to also embrace that it's different, right? But of course, we also have to make sure that they understand, how the world works and not just be in their own world, right? So those are the things that we want to make some awareness.
We let's be wise and just guide them. And they will. I mean, they are really unpolished diamonds right now. Really, really good. I mean, I have a lot of Gen Z in my team, and they are really, really good. Very, very passionate people.
I think we can just give them wisdom and let them do their thing.
We just apply them with our experience, that's all. Right, so don't force anything.
Exactly. Totally agree. So I have one last question, just back to like the BoBoiBoy stuff, BoBoiBoy and all that IP stuff. Like, what is the biggest creative risk that you've taken that you really made you feel that I'm not sure this is going to work, but we want to do it, we want to try it?
Actually, every single project is a total. I mean, if we were to say risk, is a total risk. For example, okay, so we always have this sentence in the studio whereby we say that whatever you are doing today is equal to whatever you are not doing. Okay, so you might be doing something that you think is the best for the future, but that means you need to sacrifice some other things. For example, if you do BoBoiBoy, when you are doing BoBoiBoy, Mechamato, then your BoBoiBoy has to stop for 5 years. For example, right? So although in theory, like this will travel further, okay, but when you are doing the first episode, nothing is proof, right? So when you do BoBoiBoy, when you're day one doing it's do or die, right? So it's total. I mean, again, no risk or total risk, right? So then when you do Papa Pipi, a family segment, you might need to sacrifice a season of the boy action segment, for example. So whatever you are doing is equal to whatever you are not doing. So are you making the right decision? And we usually will end up with, actually, there's no right decision. There's only a decision that you think the best at the point of time that it might not work well. Okay, but if you have decided that this is the right decision at the point of time, you just work together as a team, then you try to push to the certain extent, because nothing is worse than zero. It won't actually go negative as is if you build this thing. Maybe the other brand might go negative a bit, but at the very best, at the very least, this will grow, right? So those are the things that for us, in terms of the risk management taking and all the other things, is what we usually make. So every single one is actually the biggest risk in different angle.
But I think this is what like Monsta they are very good at.
Yeah.
It's like taking this risk, but they also always hit at the right time. I mean, blessed.
Yeah.
And they all come together and solve the problems.
And you don't have to be. I mean, again, it's a very scary thing to do. But we always believe in the concept of there's only so much you can control. You can only do your best, and then God will arrange the rest for you, right? So not everything you can fully control on your own. So then that's why we can sleep 8 hours.
Just accept the fate and go with it. Right?
And then wake up tomorrow, see how it goes, right? So you can only do your best, right? So I mean, a lot of people is just being, that's why mental health comes in, right? So you just think that everything you can control, the outcome and all. No, you cannot control a single percentage of the result.
It's true.
You can only control what you want to do. Then you live peacefully. Then only you stay young lah.
Yeah, like you lah. You worry too much. I cannot be. I worry a lot. So
relax a bit.
It's like the saying of the path not taken, right? You never know. You will never know which path is a wrong path. You know, you might taken a path which you think is wrong, but you don't know if the other path is any better. Right?
Because I think one of the biggest issue about our upbringing is that we grow up being told this is right, this is wrong. But entrepreneurship doesn't work
that way.
It's all about just you walk your path. Nobody will be able to judge if it is right or wrong.
Yes, correct.
Everyone will say that you are crazy until you prove that you made it. Right. So it's very simple. It applies to the billion and trillion dollar company. Right. It's just the only difference is that you are doing it or not doing it. And that's all. Right, so those are the things that we usually embrace lah. Don't overthink.
That's a very good advice, which I think in this day of age, everybody needs to hear that.
Don't overthink lah. Don't. Sometimes a lot of knowledge is not good.
too much knowledge.
You go to a seminar or a business coach or things like that. I mean, it's helpful, but don't rely on that lah. If you want to do business, you have 10,000 ringgit. You want to do business, you spend that 10,000 ringgit to business.
Experience yourself.
Don't spend the 10,000 to attend.
But coach, don't talk to a coach. Coaching business. They will tell you spend this money 10,000 here
to me because you are their business.
Of course, catch Papa Zola the movie end of the year.
Oh yeah, before we forgot, where can people find, you have any website or YouTube channels that you guys want to, just in case for the fans or new fans that don't know where to find you guys?
Yeah, so of course we are active on all the social media platforms. You just search for Monsta, we are there. It's always on the top of the result. Of course, when it comes to the movies and cinemas, I think that's what we, to be honest, we really want to go further. Even in Malaysia, although we are the highest grossing animation in Malaysia, but we are still talking about less than 10% of our total population that actually went to the cinema. Right, so I think the potential is still way bigger. Right, so if we want to achieve, I truly believe one day we can achieve the Avengers level and also, but we definitely need all the races, every single tier of the society really come together. I don't need people to come in just for the sake of support, but at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you judge it yourself that you do you want to continue support Malaysian animation or not? Because you are doing it or you are not doing it. The foreign countries are already doing it. So I don't want our people are being stereotyping that Malaysian is never
be good enough.
Good enough and all, right. So I just ask for the chance that people are willing to give us to actually bring your family and just go see it yourself, right, without any prejudice or stereotyping that Hollywood is definitely better and all. And then I think the whole industry will go bigger and bigger. Right, because with that amount of trust, I think we will grow really, really strong. We are coining the term called animasi, Southeast Asia. Right, so we really want to bring animasi to the world. Right, because only Malaysia is not big enough. Malaysia is good, but we need to stay together as a big market. Then only the whole world will really look into us. Right, so who else gonna do that if it is not our people?
True.
Right, so that's what I really hope that we can achieve.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yong for coming.
No problem.
So this is the end of the podcast. And if you have discovered this journal, don't keep it to yourself. Share it to the world. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Beberapa kubah aneh mula muncul dan merubah persekitaran di bandar-bandar utama serata dunia. Sesetengah orang ramai yang berada di dalam kubah kelihatan bertukar menjadi raksasa.
Dari maklumat yang operatif Zila kumpulkan, alien penakluk akan gunakan power sfera untuk aktifkan kubah pengubah realiti. Prioriti kita adalah untuk hentikan mereka dari aktifkan power sfera tu.
Inilah apabila realiti bertukar dalam dunia simulasi.
Ayuh anak muda.
Kuasa simulasi.
Kebenaran tak pernah lambat, tapi tak on time aja.